Welcome to Tower Archive, where we listen to stories and we learn. We listen, but we don't judge. I'm your host today, Olivia. Thanks for joining for this special episode that will make you feel intrigued. Sit down or lay in bed and relax, ready to enjoy the lovely story and learn life lessons. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you. Today's story is about buried truths. A story about secrets, lies, and redemption. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Letter. Amina sat on the porch of her grandmother's old house, watching the sun dip behind the hills. She had always loved visiting the village, but this time was different. Her grandmother, Nana Fatima, had passed away, leaving behind a house full of memories and secrets. While sorting through Nana's belongings, Amina found an old wooden box beneath the bed. Inside was a letter, its edges yellow with age. She opened it carefully and read, "My dearest child, if you are reading this, then the time has come for you to learn the truth. There is something buried beneath the big baba tree. It belongs to our family, but its story has remained hidden for too long. Find it and you will understand." Amina's heart pounded. What could be buried beneath the tree? And why had her grandmother kept it a secret for so long? Chapter 2. The Forbidden Past. Amina couldn't sleep. The letter replayed in her mind like an old song. Early the next morning, she grabbed a small shovel and walked to the giant boba tree. Behind the house, its thick, gnarled roots stretched across the ground like ancient fingers. She hesitated for a moment before sinking the shovel into the earth. After several minutes, she struck something hard. Her hands trembled as she cleared the soil, revealing an old metal chest, locked tight. She ran back to Nana's house, searched Nana's drawers, hoping to find the key. After rummaging through an old jewelry box, she found a tiny rusted key. With a deep breath, she returned to the chest, inserted the key and turned it. The lock clicked open. Inside lay a stack of old letters, photographs in a small golden bracelet. Amina's fingers shook as she picked up a letter, addressed to someone named Mariam. The words inside changed everything, and thought she knew. Chapter 3. A Hidden Identity. The letter was written in her grandmother's handwriting. It read, "Mariam, my heart aches as I write this. You are my daughter, but I can never tell you the truth. I was young and afraid. The man they told me to marry was not the one I loved. When I gave birth to you, they said you had to die. But I knew the truth. You were taken from me." Amina gasped. Who was Mariam? Could it be her mother? But her mother's name was Halima, or so she had always believed. Determined to find answers, she packed the letters and the bracelet and set off to find the village elder, Baba Sule. If anyone knew the truth, it was him. Chapter 4. The village elder's revelation. Baba Sule sat on a wooden stool outside his hut, chewing on a kola nut. He looked up as Amina approached, her face filled with questions. She handed him the letter. His eyes widened as he read. "Ah, child," he sighed. "This is a painful truth your grandmother carried for years." He explained that long ago, Nana Fatima had loved a man her family disapproved of. They had forced her to marry another, and when she gave birth, they told her the baby had died. But in secret, the baby was given to another family in the village. Amina's true grandparents. Her heart pounded. If this was true, then the woman she called mother was not her biological mother, but her aunt. Chapter 5. A Mother's Silence. Amina returned home, her mind racing. She found her mother, Halima, in the kitchen, stirring a pot full of soup. "Mother," Amina said, voice shaking, "who is Mariam?" Halima froze. The spoon slipped from her hand, clattering onto the glass floor. "Where did you hear that name?" she whispered. Amina held up the letter. "Is this true? Am I not your daughter?" Tears welled in Halima's eyes. "Yes, it is true. I raised you as my own because I loved you too much to let you go. But your old mother, she never stopped loving you either." Amina felt a storm of emotions, anger, confusion, but also a deep sorrow for the pain her family had endured. Chapter 6. Confronting the Past. Determined to know more, Amina sought out an old woman named Mama Zainab, who had been very close to her grandmother. Mama Zainab nodded knowingly when Amina mentioned the hidden letters. Your grandmother always regretted the lies, but in my days, we only had little choices. They did what they were told, even if it meant breaking their own hearts. Amina clenched her fist. But why keep it a secret forever? Why not tell me the truth? Mama Zainab touched her hand, gently. Because sometimes the truth is too heavy to carry. But now that you know, what will you do? Amina did not have an answer. Chapter 7. The Final Goodbye. Amina returned to the bubble tree, staring at the empty hole where the chest had been buried. She held the golden bracelet in her hand, running her fingers over its delicate patterns. It was the only thing her real mother had left behind for her. That evening, she visited her grandmother's grave, whispering, "I understand now, Nana. You carried this burden for too long, but I will no longer divide our family any longer." She decided to tell the rest of the family the truth. The past would be no longer buried. Chapter 8. A New Beginning. Days later, Amina gathered her family and shared what she had discovered. There were tears, but also relief. The truth, though painful, had finally been spoken. Halima embraced her. "You will always be my daughter, no matter what." Amina smiled through her tears. For the first time, she felt free. The buried truth had now been uncovered, and now the healing could begin. And as the sun set behind the hills, she knew that this was not just an ending, it was a new beginning. Chapter 9. Healing Old Wounds. The days that followed were filled with quiet conversations and heavy emotions. Amina's discovery had shaken the whole family, but it had also opened doors to healing. One evening, Halima sat with Amina under the boba tree, where so much of their past had been buried. "I was so afraid you would hate me," Halima admitted. Amina took her mother's hand. "I could never hate you. You raised me, loved me, and protected me. But I want to know more about my real mother. What was she like?" Halima wiped a tear and smiled softly. Mariam was kind and full of life. She had your same curious eyes. When she learned the truth about you, she wanted to tell you, but Nana Fatima feared it would break you. She thought it was the best to let things be. Amina's heart ached for the mother she never knew, but she also realized that love had always been missing from her life, only the truth. Chapter 10. The Forgotten Name. Determined to honor her real mother, Amina visited the village records keeper. She wanted to find out where her Mariam had been buried. After hours of searching, she found an old dusty file. Her mother's name had been erased in some records, hidden under false names. It was a painful reminder about how much had been taken from her. Finally, she found it. Mariam had been buried at the edge of the village cemetery, in an unmarked grave. Amina's heart clenched. She was not forgotten. No, the records keeper said. She was hidden, but not anymore. Amina knew what she had to do. Chapter 11. Restoring what was lost. With the help of the village elders, Amina organized a small ceremony. The entire village gathered at the ceremony, standing before the place where Mar had been laid to rest. Amina placed a carved wooden plaque on the grave, bearing her mother's name, Mariam Fatima. She whispered, tracing the letters, "You will never be forgotten again." The wind rustled through the trees, as if it was carrying unspoken words of the past. Amina felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that she had done what her grandmother and mother never could. She had spoken the truth out loud. Chapter 12. A Future Unburdened. Weeks later, Amina stood once more beneath the boba tree, staring at the empty hole where the chest had once been. It no longer felt like a place of secrets, but a place of remembrance. She touched the golden bracelet on her wrist, the one that had been buried for so long. It was a symbol of pain, but also love. As the sun set, she whispered, "The past no longer owns me. I carry it, but it does not weigh me down." She turned towards the house, where her family waited for her. It was time to move forward, not with buried truth, but with open hearts. And with that, Amina walked towards her future, free at last. The end. The moral of the story is that the truth, no matter how painful, should not be stay hidden. Keeping secrets can cause pain across generations, but uncovering them can bring healing, understanding, and freedom. Honesty, love, and courage help mend broken relationships and allow people to move forward without the weight of the past. I hope you all learn one or two lessons. See you next time for another wonderful story. But remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye bye!